Welcome in, guys, to my NFL Week 12 picks. 12 weeks already into the season. We're finding out who's going to make the Super Bowl, who's going to be champions this year. But let's get into it. My NFL Week 12 picks. I want to say last week I was 9-5, picking straight up winners. Did pretty well last week. So I'm impressed. If you took my advice about some of these picks and won a bit of money, then great. But yeah, don't take my opinion on some of this stuff, because some of it I have a bad week on some of these picks. I'm just going off what I think, and I'm just going off my opinion. So whatever. Anyway, I'm recording this on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm not in work today, so I'm gonna record a bit early. So we start off with tomorrow's game. It's the battle of the AFC North between the Steelers and the skid marks. I asked for one thing. I said a couple of days ago in my review, I don't want the Cowboys on primetime for the rest of the season. They give me the Steelers, who are doing pretty good this season, and the fucking skid marks. My God. 3 hours of watching the skid marks on TV tomorrow night's going to be fantastic. Give me the Steelers here, minus the 3.5. Whatever. Anyway, on to the early Sunday games. We have the Kansas City Chiefs, who are trying to bounce back after that first loss of the season to the Chiefs are bouncing back after the first loss of the season. The Chiefs are on the road against the Panthers on the early Sunday games. Also, the Chiefs trying to bounce back after the defeat to the Bills last week on the road. They're on the road again to the Panthers. Panthers are again coming up their bye week, and Chiefs minus 11 favorites for the Chiefs. I'm gonna go for the Chiefs to win, but I know that backdoor spread is incredibly big. But I'm gonna have to say the Chiefs. Well, I'm gonna go for the Chiefs to win, obviously, but I'm gonna go for the Panthers to cover that backdoor spread. So yeah, give me the Chiefs and the Panthers to cover the spread. Then we had the Vikings and the Bears, but the Bears football going on early Sunday afternoon in the NFC North. Bears coming off that defeat from the Packers on Sunday after the field goal from Santos got deflected, it rebounded, and ultimately the Packers beat the Bears again, made them their bitches for another year. The Vikings, again, they came off a win last week, so I'm going to go for the Vikings here, minus 3.5. Then we have the Cowboys and the Commanders. Thank God that like I just said, the Cowboys are not on prime time this weekend. The Cowboys versus the Commanders. I'm gonna go again. The Commanders need to bounce back after losing to the Eagles last week. That was another division game they had last week. Last Thursday they lost to the Eagles last week. Commanders, they have to bounce back if they want to win and get a home game in the playoffs. I'm gonna go for the Commanders here, minus 10. Well, the Commanders to win, and then the Cowboys to cover the backdoor spread. So yeah, give me the Commanders. Then we have the Titans versus the Texans. The Texans coming off a short week this week. They have a short week. They had a great win against the Cowboys on the road. Give me the Texans minus the 8. Then we have my Detroit Lions. We're on the road to the Indianapolis Colts. We came with a great win last week at home against the Jags. I'm going to go for the Lions here to win, but I'm going to have the Colts cover the backdoor spread. Colts going to have a great win as well against the Jets. Then we have Drake May and the New England Patriots. They're going to be on the road to the Dolphins. Dolphins have won back-to-back games the last 2 weeks. I'm going to go for the Dolphins here, minus the 7. Patriots, trying to rebound after that Rams defeat. So let's see what happens there. But I'm going to go for the Dolphins minus the 7. Then we have the Buccaneers, who had a bye week last week. They're back this week, and they're going to be on the road to the Giants. I'm going to go for the Buccaneers to get the win, minus the 5.5. Then we go to the late Sunday games. We have the Denver Broncos, who beat the Falcons last week. They're on the road to the Raiders. I'm gonna go for Broncos here minus the 5.5. Bo Nix played his best game against the Falcons last week. I think you're really kind of showing what Bo Nix is all about. I think he's finally figuring it out now in the NFL, which is good. So yeah, give me the Broncos minus the 5.5. Then we had the 49ers, who are trying to bounce back after a defeat last week to the Seahawks. They're on the road to the Green Bay Packers. Packers also coming after that late win against the Bears. Give me the Packers minus the 2.5. Then we have the Cardinals, who had a bye week themselves. They're on the road to the Seattle Seahawks. Give me the Seahawks minus the 1. Then we have the prime time game on Sunday. It's the Eagles, who obviously they beat the Commanders last Thursday, against the Rams, who had a great road win against the Patriots. I'm gonna go for the Rams here minus the 3. I know that the Rams, especially the Rams' defense is gettable in the secondary. You can get at them this year, especially with, I've been saying this, but with Aaron Donald, they really need to, in the offseason or in the draft, especially find a replacement for Aaron Donald. So I know it's going to be, for Aaron Donald, it's going to be a huge replacement, a huge shoes to fill, but they have to address that, especially if they want to win a championship down the road. Then we go to the Monday night game, and we have the Jim Harbaugh versus John Harbaugh. It's brother versus brother, a rematch from the Super Bowl a number of years ago. It's Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh going back at it, running it back on Monday night. It's the Ravens who are on the road to the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh I was a bit skeptical about him coming into the Chargers, especially when for the past 8 or 9 years he's been in Michigan and he hasn't really coached in the NFL. But he's done a pretty good job with the Chargers. I think he's done a pretty decent job. He's not the long-term answer. He's not the long-term answer for the Chargers. But for this year, he's done pretty well. For the Ravens, they have to bounce back. They lost last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, so they have to bounce back. Give me this Ravens here minus the 3, and yeah, that's my NFL Week 12 picks, guys. So I'll have my picks in the description box like I do every week, and I'll talk to you later.